Hello everyone and welcome to Skorpulac. This is a game which is developed by Eric Serkey. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is the guy who is very well known for doing video game soundtracks under the name Strotchy. He did soundtracks for Spelunky and Downwell, as well as some tracks for Hotline Miami. And this is the first proper game which he has developed. It's available for free on itch, and he develops under the name Archipel, which you can see at the bottom of the screen there. Post a link to download this if you want to try it out, having seen this video. It is free, and it's a very good old school platform game with an 8-bit style. Very, very polished, very simple, sort of miniature game. It's got quite a few levels, but overall, not that big a game. 5 reasonable sized areas, each with several stages. I am going to play it now. I played this through a while ago, so you can see there are 5 areas, and we'll start obviously back at the beginning here. I remember this being really hard. I think it took me a few attempts to get through some of the stuff, and we'll sort of see how we get on. So, comparisons are obviously easy to draw for certain old school games. Castlevania being the obvious one gameplay wise. Same sort of speed, and you have like this melee weapon, a spear, and that's pretty much all you have. In fact, that is definitely all you have. It has a really creepy kind of ambient vibe, and it's very sort of haunting, dark sci-fi, cyberpunk kind of thing, and I dig it. I like it, and the reason why I'm playing this today on the channel, that was close, is because, well, I wanted to do some more platformer stuff for a while, because I've been, one of the reasons why my videos have been a bit quiet recently is because I've been doing some developing, which is, I'm a bit of a hobbyist developer myself. I wouldn't call myself a skilled developer, but I do, you know, develop games. Mostly I develop little platform games. And for a first game, this is very impressive. It's nothing too ambitious, as you can see, but it's incredibly polished the way it feels to control. And I just really like the general vibe. There's lots of different kinds of enemies, and they all have very unique behaviours. And these clawmen are extremely annoying, as you can see. Once you hit them, they charge, and you have to get clear. And how your attack has kind of a wind-up, so you might be able to sort of see what I mean by just watching, but really you need to kind of play it to get a feel for how the timing on the attacks is very precise, and as well as the timing on everything else, as you can see. And yeah, I just think this is a really cool little game, and the other reason why I'm playing this now is because of the announcement of UFO 50. And if you haven't sort of heard of that, or you don't know what that is, it's the new game by Mossmouth, which is Derek Yu's studio. Derek Yu is the creator of Spelunky, and a very, very heralded indie developer. His games, oh crap, his games are kind of, he's like a developer's developer, you know what I mean? His games are, oh dear. His games are games which developers like to talk about a lot. Spelunky being, you know, the real kind of gem that he's done, and that was the debut of his studio, Mossmouth. That was their sort of debut, and to date it's their only released game. Everyone has been waiting eagerly to see what his next thing is going to be, and it's finally been announced as UFO 50, which is basically Action 52, but not horrible. It's a collection of 50 retro-themed indie games developed by a group of 5 developers, including Derek himself, Ojiro Fumoto, who's the guy who developed Downwell as his debut game, and a couple of others, and one of the others is Eric Surkey. So we're about to see a whole lot more from this guy, and that seems like now is a good time, as good a time as any to play Skorpulac. I mean, I've considered doing it as sort of a random play for a while, but never really got it together. And now I'm sort of sitting down for the evening wondering what to do, and ow. And yeah, I felt like, why not? I mean, well, the obvious reason why not is probably because I have a lot of other videos that I should be making instead of this, but I felt like playing it, so I thought, why not record it? The behaviour on the frogs is annoying but predictable. When they flash, it means they are going to do a targeted jump at your position, and they punctuate those targeted jumps with non-targeted lower jumps, so you have to really work out what they're going to be doing. And again, this thing seems like it's very simplistic. It kind of is. But it's the polish which makes it. It just feels nice to play. And I really like the design of the character as well. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be, but he sort of seems like a little space marine or something, but with kind of cool 80s colourful he looks like he's got hot pants on, a bit like Superman, and a little space helmet, some sort of red thing like shoulder armour, a bit like Judge Dredd. There's just something about it, it looks cool. And those mortars which fire the cannon shots here, when you get onto the same platform as them, they change configuration and they let out those electrical charges. So it's all about just simple timing, but timing which is very satisfying. And the first decent chunk of the game is basically just this. But then it does a few kind of quite clever things to subvert its basic platforming rules. And again, I just like that stuff, you know? Ooh dear. Ow. Those things are pretty much like the oh, shouldn't have done that. That was close. Those fireball things, pretty much like the ones from Super Mario 3. We all know how annoying they are. These ones are exactly as annoying. Maybe more annoying because your targeting is more precise. The blobs, like the one which is underneath the platform I'm now stood on, when you are in their line of sight, they charge up and fire a shot. So this one will be firing... There we go. And they fire a pretty accurate targeted shot at your position. So it's so you just sort of have to anticipate what they're going to be doing and do something else, for want of a better description. But UFO 50 I'm extremely excited for. As a hobbyist developer myself, those guys are real kind of poster boys of retro indie games. They just know how to make these kind of games feel good to play. And that's very difficult to get across in, in things like this. So here we have a Midboss, quite a tough one as I remember. And we'll see how I do. Probably horribly. See him in the background there. The little flashing things that appear in the water indicate that it's going to spawn a frog when you get over the top of them. And then there are more of those firing blobs. So he does this attack, but he also does another attack. Okay, that's one. I think you have to do 2 of those to kill him. He does another attack, which is incredibly difficult to avoid. Oh god. Oh dear. Oh, this is bad. They're going to turn round? Maybe not. One hit and I'm dead. Frog. Yeah, this is the one that... that's the other attack. And if you're in the wrong position for that, you're basically pretty fucked. So we'll see if I can do better at that next time. Sometimes, because it just seems to be complete random what attack he does when he appears, sometimes it just does those every time and it becomes very difficult to hit the guy. Okay. Do the overhead. Yes, that's what we want. Okay, so I think it's 6 hits to wound him. Oh dear, this one. Wow. Oh, that was bad luck. Oh, he's doing it again. That's what you want. But not in terms of his position, because it means he can't hit the guy. Oh, and again. And again. Okay, that's 1. Generate some of these. But by the looks of it, we don't actually need to kill them, so probably better to just play it safe. If I can get him to do an overhead attack. And no, I can't. Mate. That's just extremely unfortunate. And again. And it seems to be at complete random which elemental effect you get from those things when they hit the platform. Crap. Alright. I can do this. The scan lines, the sort of video scan lines are a filter which you can turn off, but I really like them. Gives it kind of a cyberpunk kind of vibe, which I dig. I'm getting really unlucky with this. Maybe not. Got some hits in. This one is much, much easier to deal with. Okay. Now we can take these blobs out. And we get the little spermatozoa things. So it's sort of aesthetically a bit of a cross between... Oh dear. Whew. A bit of a cross between Castlevania, the NES ones, and okay, is that it? Oh no, no, that's it. That's it. Cool. Cross between Castlevania, the 8-bit ones, and sort of like an old MSX or Commodore 64 or ZX Spectrum type of game. That's pretty much the graphical quality that I'm doing in my own productions. So, I've been playing a lot of stuff like this for research, and figured I would just start doing a couple of videos on them, because why not? So this one, you have a choice of directions, and I remember the left being a little bit easier to deal with. They aren't that different to one another, but we'll see how we do. Tricky. Right. Ooh. Oh, that was bad. That was terrible. That was oh god. Damn. That was poor. Introduces a couple of new mechanics in each stage. In this case, secret passages behind walls and floors, and more complicated timing puzzles regarding the moving hazards in the stages. Right, that was a bit better. Whew. All right. Left or right? Guess we'll go left. That was a hard level. This looks legitimately like a hard level. Okay. The platforms with the red things underneath generate flames when you stand on them, which stay for a while. But in this case, indicates safe places that you can stand away from the mortar. Oh dear. So that mortar looks like it's probably not worth killing. And so the timing here has to be to do with the man. The claw man. Something like this. Okay, that could have been better. Invisible wall here. Ugh. Ah, yes, I see. Some of the laser beams are just timed like these, some of them are triggered by proximity or by you being in their line of sight, a bit like the arrow traps from Spelunky. Again, you can kind of see the guy testing out different logic things with his development as he's sort of learning to develop with this stuff, so just comes across really well for a first project because it's so polished. Very tricky jump here. There we go. Froggo. And one of these Tempest 2000-esque walking claws. And what's this? A lot of those firing blobs. It looks like we aren't going to be able to get very many of those taken out either. We'll just have to avoid them as best we can. Okay. Take this one out if we can. Apparently I can't. There we go. seem to be safe from them here, so we'll just destroy that mine. When you lose one of your 2 HP, the white things which the enemies drop, if you collect 4 pieces, then you get you get your other bit of HP back. It's kind of like the armor and boxer shorts thing from Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, or whatever. This is very tricky indeed. And I'm doing very badly already. Those things fire on a timer and fire 3 shots, each one homing. You have to defeat... Ooh, crap. You have to defeat all 3 of them in each screen to advance to the next screen, and if you die, you go back to the first screen. So, pretty nasty stuff. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Okay. Just going to wait here for this guy to fire. And that's that. This is a checkpoint, and this is the final area of the game. But if you get game over here, you have to do those firing sentry guns again. And here you transform into a spaceship. I'm not sure if you transform or if you're if you get into a spaceship, but it's not made clear. The storyline is pretty non-existent, but I like how you can kind of fill in the gaps of your own imagination, you know? It has the right kind of atmosphere to not really need a particularly potent story. Ooh, this is rough. Those guns are the worst. The blobs are okay because they only fire 1 shot. And here we get up to the boss, which is extremely difficult. I'm probably going to die a whole lot on this. These little orbs fire projectiles seemingly randomly. The alien head, which is clearly a nod to R-Type, only fires if you are in front of it. And as I remember rightly, hopefully I do, you have to take out these claws first, because they are the most dangerous obstacle you face, because they fire those 3 jets of bullets. Once you've got them down, like that, then you can take out some of these. Hopefully. Oh, tricky. They seem to fire completely at random, so sometimes you just get really lucky. Oh. Oh god. And as you can see, they soak up quite a lot of damage. You don't need to take these out, you only need to destroy the head. But as you can see, when you get in the line of sight, it fires. And it only ever does 1 pattern, which is that. So now this has pretty much been fairly trivialised. I'm mashing the button, but now I can hold it down. If you hold it down, you fire at the exact same rate, but you can't manoeuvre your ship very fast, as you can see, whilst holding it down. So it's much easier to tap in general. Come on then. Okay. There we go. I think that sentry appears to have realised that it had some work to make up for. And that's it. Short but sweet. That's Skorpulac. Cool little sprite on the ship there as well. Very retro 70s design. Sort of like an R-Wing from Star Fox, or one of the ships from the original Battlestar Galactica. Or almost a little bit like the ships from No Man's Sky, although I haven't played No Man's Sky. Thanks for playing. Yep, well, that was that. There's nothing else to see, there's no ending, it just goes back to the title screen once you quit the fireworks. Yeah, that was a random play of Skorpulac. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that the commentary was a little bit off. I'm about to go to bed and I'm quite tired. But yeah, it's a video nonetheless. If you did enjoy it, press like as normal, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friends, and farewell.